So we about to just get it started, y'all. Um, first off, the most important thing is we're still look. This is just like a record. I shouldn't even have to say this anymore. We definitely need to continue. If y'all are not doing the stuff that we talked about in the homework, focusing on our percentage of real food compared to not real food, and us focusing on tracking at least out of 2 weeks, we need to be tracking at least over half the week. So out of 14 days, we at least need to be tracking 8. But we need to be trying our best to get closer and closer and closer to 14 out of 14 or 13 out of 14. That would be ideal. 12 out of 14 would even be good. Anything under that, we just need to keep working towards our goal, which is to work towards tracking. Not only tracking, remember, but we want to be accurate with our tracking, which means that we need to understand how to use MyFitnessPal, kind of like I was showing y'all last week. All these different values. If you over or under weigh, or if you start guesstimating, estimating, what you think that you're eating and what you're actually eating could be two totally different amounts. And that can put you in, you could be gaining or losing weight on accident because you're not measuring and you're not tracking right. So we kind of covered that today. But kind of getting off of that for a second, because obviously next 2 weeks we got Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. And so I want to help everybody to, I don't want people to give up on the last 2 weeks. What happens, I'm just going to give y'all the quick, the last 2 weeks come up, people, you got, I know we in a special times right now, but still, you got Christmas, people, still want to do stuff with their family, or they, Christmas cookies and Christmas food and all this like that, Christmas drinks, everybody off. Then you got that next week, then you got New Year's food and New Year's drinks and New Year's parties, and they're back to back to back. And usually this stuff is not just a 1 day thing. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4 day thing. And it just throws people's whole timing off. Like you could be doing good all year. And then, you get to, you get to Halloween all the way to January, and then things just trickle down because there's just so many activities going on back to back to back to back. And it just throws you in a spiral. You get out of routine. You get, you just eating stuff that you're consistently eating things that you're not supposed to be eating. You may be doing a little bit extra partying because, like I said, it's just that time of the year. So understanding that is understanding that just because these events happen don't mean that you have to fall all the way off and do what most people do, which is, I'm going to wait till next year now. They done good from January. We'll give people the benefit of the doubt, say they did good from January to September. Like they've been doing their thing. They've been hitting their goals. They've been on track to lose 10 pounds for the whole year. Great. And then they got 10, they're at 8 pounds. They got 8 pounds off, and they get to September, and then they gain all 8 back from October to January 1. Just because the lack of understanding and preparation and being like, okay, I know this stuff is coming. And the option of being like, I'm just going to go cold turkey, that's not realistic. Like, everybody got family. Everybody like to hang out with their family. Everybody got friends. Everybody like to hang with their friends. Like, that stuff is going to happen. So the thing is that we have to understand that we need to have a plan. If you have a plan and you have understanding of what you can and can't do, and you understand how to track right, and you understand how to be right 70% of the time, 80% of the time, you will be fine. Okay. And this should go from here to the rest of the year, because hey, it could be this happens all year. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we don't have parties and stuff all year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to share my screen, and I'm gonna just show you a couple slides. I'm gonna talk about the slides, and then we'll go from there. All right. All right. So we gonna dive right into it. Everybody can see. Can everybody see? Can't hear you. Can everybody see?
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Let me. I need to move y'all somehow. How do you? Okay. All right. All right. So I'm gonna just read this stuff and can just kind of. So this is some stuff I pulled from a couple websites that I really like. I really respect. And it just kind of talks about some things that we just need to know. So it says diabetes. Sugar is the new obesity is what they're saying. So one of the reasons why I'm telling y'all about that 70-30 rule is because of this. Consuming high quantities of sugar, aka carbs. So when people talk about bad carbs, they're not talking about carbs like I want y'all to eat. Everybody needs carbs. When everybody's like, oh, I don't eat carbs, they looking at it wrong. You need to eat carbs, but you need to not eat these kind of carbs. This is what we need to avoid. So when we're talking about low carb diets, to me, a low carb diet means I'm eating my carbs, I'm eating my rice, I'm eating my vegetables, I'm eating fruit, I'm eating good carbs, but I'm not eating all of this. Okay, so it says, high quantities. Man, stay down there. Okay, high quantities of sugar, especially processed sugar, leads to having excessive high and low energy levels. So if you up and down, this may be why. There are more than 50 names for sugars nowadays. So you got to watch, because something can say that it's sugar free and it has sugar in it. It just doesn't have what they would have to deem as sugar on their label. I tell people, you know what? Stay away from the sugar-free stuff. Stay away unless the doctor tells you that you need to be eating sugar-free. Watch, because a lot of times you don't think you having a whole bunch of sugar, but you still having sugar. They just changed the name. Okay, so there are more than 300 research papers stating that the negative outcomes of sugar. The key to know what these sugars are. Like, so all these sugars, rice syrup, sucrose, blah, 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 blah. And you can look it up. So when you get time, go on the internet and look up all the names for sugar. And then go ahead and find when you look up whatever on the back of something, it probably has sugar in it. Okay. For myself, I would rather just have sugar in it and not rice syrup or whatever. Like, just give me the regular, okay? Because usually all this other stuff that they got on there, like, it is not just sugar. You know what I'm saying? It's usually is a little bit more harmful for your body in the long run because it's a chemical. You know what I'm saying? Like, sugar is sugar, but now you're talking about chemicals. You know what I'm saying? Now they add an extra. So watch, especially now in this, now times, people are like, oh, I'm gonna eat some cookies, but I'm gonna eat these whatever cookies. Like, just if you're gonna eat the cookies, just eat the cookies with the regular sugar in there. Okay, don't eat the rice syrup cookies. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is an interesting one. I put this one in there just because I think that people need to understand about weight fluctuation. So it happens to most of us on a weekly basis, and that is absolutely normal. Okay, so like you could be 2 pounds. I could be 2 pounds. I wake up in the morning and I could be this, and then I could be this later on, and the next day I could be a little bit, a little less, a little bit more. All right. So, especially considering that almost infinite factors that play a role in weight loss or weight gain. Here are some of them. Okay, we talked about this stuff. Inconsistent sleep. So we already know about the sleep. I'm not going to get into that. But inconsistent sleep can definitely affect weight loss or weight gain. Okay, so if you're not sleeping enough or you're not getting the right kind of sleep, it directly correlates to recovery. If your body hasn't recovered, then your body hasn't recovered. So if I did all this working out yesterday and I don't get any sleep, my body hasn't recovered. So more than likely, my body is not at the right, whatever, weight. My body's still repairing. The nutrients hasn't been all the way used because my body has not been, I'm not using it. I'm not taking care of it. That's why we've always, our first session, we talked about rest. It's the most essential. Without rest, there's no recovery, there's no weight loss, there's no weight gain. There's just a whole bunch of randomness. Okay. And usually inconsistent sleep leads to or is directly correlated to these next ones. So stressful situations. Okay. So usually stressful situations equal inconsistent sleep, right? So we need to understand how to regulate and manage stressful situations. This is a stressful time. We're in a pandemic. Christmas, if you got to buy gifts and you got to be out here in this craziness and you got family here and it could be stressful, let alone you got job and this and that and this. You got to figure out a way for you, it's different for everyone, to regulate and to maintain and be okay, because stress is going to be around. We all know we can't get rid of stress. If you eat a lot of sodium, we've talked about this one too, especially you all are women. Sodium. If you got a lot of sodium in your diet, you're going to retain a lot of water. It's going to mess up your scale weight. So it could be reading that you 5 pounds heavier than what you really are because you're retaining water. So you gotta watch that sodium. Usually if we eating crap food, it has a lot of sodium in it. If we eating good, clean, whole foods, we don't. So watch. Next one, alcohol consumption. Excess alcohol consumption equals weight fluctuation. Why? We already talked about this also. Your body can't break down that alcohol. So it takes longer for that to happen. It takes longer for your body to recover. They say sometimes it can take up to 2 days for your body to get back to where it was before you consumed that alcohol. So we're talking about recovery. That could be another reason. Illness, we already understand. Illness, I would say it's the same effect like alcohol. Like if you're ill, obviously your body's not working. It's just working to fight the illness. So you're definitely not going to recover. And then we know bowel movement. So we know that in the morning, you could get on the scale and you can go to the bathroom and come back and you be different weight. Okay, those all definitely have. So when we're stepping on the scale, I just want you all to understand that, like, we should have an idea, but we shouldn't be crying about a weight on the scale because that weight could change 50 times in a day. Okay. High calorie meals or inactivity, all those things also could fluctuate your weight. Okay. So don't focus on the number on the scale. We focus on long-term goal for pursuit. Okay. We need to understand, we need to change, we need to continue to work on our habits. Okay. If I want to gain weight, if I want to lose weight, if I want to build muscle, if I want to whatever, we need to understand that this is a long person's game. Anybody who wants to build muscle and they want to build it in a month or lose it in 3 months or gain it in 3 months, it ain't happening. Okay. This is a long journey. Okay. We need to understand that long journey is happening. We're in the process of changing and building and sculpting it now. Okay, this one, it should say eating out / eating in, because Lord knows, okay, especially right now, the food that we consume, in the holidays, is just like eating out. But this is something that I just want people to take into the new year. Okay, so like for me, when I know I'm eating out, usually I want to know what restaurant I'm going to, so that I can research what they have on their menu. Okay. I know for a while, like Denise was traveling a lot for her job, before pre-pandemic. And we will always have her have a plan. Like, look, like you going here, you need to find out, I know you're not going to be able to cook all your food. You need to look in advance to find out what's around there so that you can find meals that are adequate or that won't put you in such a deficit or whatever, where you are going to, be trying to get out that hole for the rest of the week. You know what I'm saying? Like cheat meals, okay. But cheat meal with no direction is not okay, because what that can do is, if I'm on track all week and I have a cheat meal, right? And a cheat meal is 2 days worth of calories. What you gonna do? Not eat for the rest? Not eat tomorrow? No. You can enjoy a cheat meal and have a plan. You got to have a plan. The same plan that you're gonna have for a holiday. Like, we understand that we're gonna eat probably more than what we usually eat for the holiday, but you gotta have some limits. You gotta understand portion. Like, they said a good way to help yourself for the holiday is a plate rule. So, like, I don't know if anybody is gonna be going over people's house. Like I said, obviously we're in a pandemic, but if we had a plate, okay, one plate, could we fit whatever we eating? Could we fit it on the plate? If you gotta fit it on multiple plates, you're going overboard. That should be your rule. Like, do you really need 2 plates at one time? No, because you wouldn't eat that regularly. I gotta beg some people to eat food, regular food. Like, oh, I ain't eating enough. Like, you need to eat more. But now it's crap, and now we gotta eat 2 plates. So, like, be mindful and fit what you need. If you can fit everything you want on one plate and eat it, and you'll be satisfied. I promise you. Also understanding not to eat to be stuffed. I know that's like an old, like, oh man, like we ate and I was stuffed. Like, no, like, for the holidays and for like even like for the restaurant, my goal is always to not, like, if I can, depending on where the restaurant is, I'm trying not to eat. Like, I'm trying to find a portion size that's adequate, or I'm going to look up whatever and I'm going to see if I can eat half and take the other half home, because I know the numbers and I can eat that and I can use it as a meal because I can track that, because I know exactly what it is. So, like, it's okay to eat and not be stuffed. Okay. I know that sounds crazy, but people, like, or it sounds crazy for me to have to tell y'all that. But a lot of people, especially for the holidays, and when they go to restaurants, they want to be stuffed. Like, no, just eat. Just eat how you normally eat. Okay? Let's move on. We'll talk about that later. Hydration. This is the key. This is gonna help y'all a lot. Okay, I know I always talk about hydration, but I just wanted to kind of give y'all like a color code. All right. So we'll go from top to the bottom. So if your pee is clear, you're probably overhydrated. Like, if it's clear, like, just stop drinking a little bit of water for a little bit. Okay. It should be light, but it shouldn't be clear. Okay. That's, you need to cut back on the water, like it says. That second one, this is what we're looking for. Like, a light, light yellow. That's, that's what we're looking for. If we're darker yellow, like that third one, y'all need to be drinking water. You need to drink more water. That's a sign. That's your body telling you, like, you're getting close to being dehydrated. And we don't want to be dehydrated because we want to recover. And usually when you're dehydrated, your body also, you're setting yourself up for failure, because your body can't tell if it's dehydrated or if it's hungry. So if you happen to pass by food first, you'll probably eat, and you'll eat for no reason. Okay. Then the last one, obviously, I hope we should never be that dark. And if we are that dark, we need to be drinking immediately. It says you should probably go to the doctor, but that is if it's consistently dark like that. You should be able to drink enough water or fluids to get out of that color, barring something being wrong. Okay. If you're hydrating and you're that dark, now you're talking, we need to go to the doctor. Okay. Which I don't think that anybody in here is there. But when we having cheat meals, hydration is key, especially because usually if you eat now or we eating the food that we eat, the sodium's high. So for y'all, drinking the water will help flush a lot of that salt out. Okay. You probably have to drink more water than you usually drink. Okay. All right. This one is, okay. Let's not take this one too far. Okay. But I just want to give y'all an indication of how this really works. So I know people, New Year's and people be, having some drinks and stuff like that for the holidays. In a perfect world, you really should be tracking them. And this is just how you track them in macros. I would just say, if you just track them in calories, you'll be fine. Okay. But pretty much what they're just trying to tell you is that like alcohol is not a food. It's not a food. It's not a carb. It's not a protein. It's not a fat. But if you're tracking it, it's complicated, but it's kind of both. It's fats and it's carbs. So it's kind of what it really wants to let you know is that your body is still going to accept it as calories. But at the same time, remember, it's not food. So like be mindful and be aware and try just try, obviously you want to try to regulate the amounts. But I would track it as if it's a part of your calories. The same way you would track your cheat meal. Okay, I ain't gonna stay there too long because we're all responsible. This is the big one right here, y'all. Oh, let me move this. This is the big one right here. Okay, it's not rules. It's really goals. Okay, I think that this is help. I've been living by this for the past, I'll say, 6 months. Well, no, probably since a month after the pandemic started. I've been trying to do this, and I think that it's actually helped me a lot. Just having this mindset. Okay. So I don't know if anybody is big on social media. I'm giving myself no more than 30 minutes a day on social media. Why? Because it's a distraction. Okay. You could easily go from just browsing to being on there for a long time. Okay. If that happens, obviously we're not doing something else. Okay. And this in the full scale, this is just to help us to be a healthier person and to help us recover. Okay. Also, if we do no more than 30 minutes a day, that's going to decrease the amount of screen time that we're receiving per day. Okay. And we already know what that blue light does to our bodies. Okay. So we want to eliminate unnecessary blue light. Unnecessary blue light would be just being on social media for no reason. Right. Work in. Okay. So it's a lot of different ways that you can take that. My work in 30 minutes of work in is me working on myself, like stretching, mobility, any kind of recovery. I'm at least going to try to do 30 minutes a day. Okay. It says work out at least 30 minutes a day. I don't work out 30 minutes a day. I work out 5 times a week, and we'll say that it equals a little bit over 30 minutes a day. Okay, so that'll be the same for you all. On average, we'll say that is what 3.5 hours if my calculation is right. So if you're working out about 4 days a week, for an hour, you've exceeded that. Okay, so that I don't work out every day though, but that's also because the workouts are a little bit more intense. Our bodies need more time to recover. Okay. But that would be minimum. If you was doing some low intensity stuff every day for 30 minutes, that would be our goal. Our goal is to work out. I'm not really worried about y'all. Y'all getting enough exercise. Breathe. Okay. We kind of touched on this. This is also a part of recovery. I use my breathing. I work on my breathing before bed. Okay. It's a way to help me to relax, to get my body to calm down, and I've done it so much now that my body starts to understand that it's time to go to bed. It's now a habit. Okay. So breathe every day for at least 10 minutes. Okay. It also is going to help you with your exercising. Like if you understand how to breathe or focus on breathing, using like Calm app or just, YouTube. It's so many different ways that you can work on breathing. Focus on that. Try it. It's going to help you in your workouts. It's going to help you to get into better sleep. Okay. I spend so much more time in REM than I've ever done ever since I've been doing my breathing techniques before bed. I recover better now also. So that's something else. Read for at least 30 minutes. Okay. This is a tricky one though. So I tried to do that. And for me, at least the things that I wanted to read, it stimulated my mind too much. So it made me think too much. So I do not read every day for 30 minutes. Some people, it does work. What I would say though, is that if you're going to read at least 30 minutes a day, don't read off of your device unless you read early in the day. If you're reading in the daytime, that's fine. But if you're reading to relax, I would try like Kindle or just a regular book. And I probably would do something that is less stimulating, that won't draw you in, that you're going to want to either read more of the book or that you're going to be thinking about the book, like, or it's going to have you in a mental state where you're going to be like stimulated. Okay. Something that's less stimulating. All right. Eat. So we just kind of talked about it. I would say with the grain of salt, this is on average. We shouldn't be taking in a lot of alcohol. We shouldn't be taking in a lot of processed food. Like I said, I'm aware of it's, it's whatever holidays, stuff like that. So we may be taking a little bit, but we're talking about these rules are everyday rules, like for us to live healthier lifestyles. Alcohol and processed food should be not in the regular routine. Not saying that we never eat it, but we shouldn't be eating it that often. We shouldn't be consuming it that often. Okay. And then water, at least 100 ounces of water, we know is 2/3 of our body weight. So for me, that's at least 100 ounces. I drink more than 100 ounces a day. We all should be probably drinking more than 100 ounces, I think, based off of all of our weights. Okay. Those are generic rules. But this is something that I picked up, I saw, and I was like, oh, you know what? This is going to help me out. You can adjust all your rules, but I do think that you should start to put together a little baby rule sheet for yourself. Like, okay, this is my goal. This is going to help me get there. So I'm going to do this. I want to work on my mobility. So I'm going to stretch 30 minutes a day. Or, I want to work on my rest. I want to work on my sleeping. So, or I want to work on getting better quality food. So I'm going to track, or like, what I'm saying? Like you can plug in the rules where you want to plug them in. Okay. But having a set of rules is something that we all need to start to do. This is the way that we build habits long-term. Okay. Because I've been doing this, and now this stuff is habit. Like I look at it now and I'm like, it's regular stuff. Like it don't look shocking. When I first looked at it, I was like, I don't know. So like, this is something that y'all, like I said, we all need to develop these habits. These habits are going to get us better rest, better results, because we're going to be tracking and eating the food. We're going to track properly. We're going to exercise better. We're going to get better results because our body's going to be recovered. We're going to get stronger faster because we're doing our part. Okay. And not only that, we're going to be healthier. It's all kind of stuff going on, all kind of sicknesses and stuff out there. Being healthy helps. So understanding that health is not just working out, this is bridging the gap. Okay. Drinking water, eating the right amounts of food, eating the right qualities of food, taking care of our body, making sure that our mental's right, that's going to help us. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, I wanted to leave some time, so I got through what I wanted to show y'all to kind of just, leave it up for some questions because, like I said, I know it's holiday and I know it's a lot of stuff going on. So if anybody got any questions, or I know people, we've been trying to track stuff like that. I wanted to leave some time for everybody to go ahead and maybe ask some questions if y'all had some.
I know I've been trying to track every day, but like yesterday when